them are not getting a benefit of higher education, etc. I think in democracy we must remember and emphasize this point that democracy is all about citizens with voting rights, and if they have voting right, whatever economic status or educational status is all inconsequential in that sense. You have to be just citizens of India and of voting age. That is what is required, and I think anybody who favors this, that we are good at educated class and all, is a very elitist one, and it points at a state's failure, that why others are lagging behind.
Arun, did you manage to travel this year around through Karnataka?
No, not much. Not much.
He lives there.
No, but did you manage to go across the length and breadth? Because you would be able to see the change, or what were the promises that were made in the last government and what really has worked for the Congress party if they've managed to make gains like these?
Not at the time of elections, but a few months before the elections, I had travelled to some parts of Karnataka, especially the southern Karnataka and the coastal Karnataka. At that time, people seemed to have not made up their mind. But towards the end of the campaigning, even before the Prime Minister came, I think people had made up their mind to see, except maybe in Bangalore. Because Bangalore, as you're showing,
we were just showing
BJP has
Bangalore.
been doing quite well.
I can just go back to those numbers. Bangalore pretty much is holding as far as the BJP numbers are concerned. They've in fact added 5, and it seems to have come, of course, 2 from the Congress and 3 from the JDS. But I think a lot of, and I'd include the media ourselves, a lot of Karnataka is seen through the prism of Bengaluru, which I think is the mistake that a lot of us make. No, Rashid?
Yes, absolutely. I think particularly those who are not from the state, they tend to look at all these things, what's happening in the state capital, what is your, driver saying, what is your, people in the hotel and order saying, and, you go and stop over those various dhabas and all. I think elections are far more complicated and people weigh in. I'm saying there are big stakeholders, and we tend to gloss over the aspirations of the of the Dalits and tribals and marginalized sections of society. Again, in democracy, needs to be emphasized again and again, Ridhima, that everyone is a stakeholder and everyone has a vote. If somebody is earning a lakh of rupees, it does not make him or her more important than one who is less, or 5,000 or less. So this is the beauty of democracy, and we should all feel very proud of it.
Okay, Arun?
Just to answer an earlier question you posed to Rashid about the literacy issue. See, the voters, the awareness I'm talking of, the voters of Karnataka showed the awareness in 1985 when they voted for Ramakrishna Hegde, then Chief Minister, and voted out Congress. In the sense, Congress just 70 days before that, had elected, the people had elected Congress in a big number for the Lok Sabha election, 27 out of 28 seats. But then 70 days later, they voted for Ramakrishna Hegde of Janata Party in the state assembly election. So that shows the kind of awareness the people had then, 1985.
Okay. I'll just request Rashid and Arun to stay on with us. Some reports that are being filed by our colleagues, some celebration shots also that are coming in. Let's take a look at those.
No end to the celebrations at Congress headquarters. While there is Dhol, the Nagada that is going on, there is also a man who is dressed up as Bajrang Bali. आज आप बजरंग बली बन के आए हैं यहाँ पे।
बजरंग बली हमेशा कांग्रेस की बात का, आज जिस तरीके से भाजपा ने वहाँ पर बजरंग बली जी को उतारा, अपने स्थानीय मुद्दों से लोगों को भटकाने की कोशिश करी, गरीब की बात नहीं करी, गरीब की बात को नहीं सुना, बेरोजगार की बात नहीं सुनी, भ्रष्टाचार की बात नहीं सुनी, लेकिन बजरंग बली ने किसकी सुना? राहुल गांधी जी, जो हमेशा गरीबों की आवाज उठाते हैं, भ्रष्टाचार की बात करते हैं, महंगाई की बात करते हैं, चाहे उन्हें सीबीआई ईडी डराए, लेकिन राहुल गांधी जी हमेशा बढ़ चढ़कर जनता के बीच में रहते हैं और ना डरे थे वो गोरों से और ना डरेंगे भाजपा के चोरों से।
ये जो सेलिब्रेशन चल रहा है कायम रहेगा।
ये 2000 लोकसभा के संकेत हैं और भाजपा को पता लगना चाहिए, जब वो धर्म की बात करेगी, हिंदुस्तान की जनता उसको देखेगी जो गरीबों के बीच में रहता है, गरीबों का बात को सुनता है।
So you saw what the person here has been saying, that this is just an indication of 2024 elections, Lok Sabha elections, and the celebration is continuing. We are seeing that not just at the lawn, outside as well, there is full-fledged celebration that is going on. The Congress believes that they are going to cross 140 mark today.
तब हमारे को बहुत खुशी हो रही है, जो हमारी मेहनत थी अल्लाह उसका रंग लाया है, अल्लाह का बहुत बड़ा एहसान है। और इसके साथ साथ हमारी जो कांग्रेस पार्टी जो एमएलए कैंडिडेट को बदलकर एसी श्रीनिवास साहब को जिताई है। कांग्रेस पार्टी आना जरूरी था क्योंकि गरीबों की पार्टी है। कांग्रेस पार्टी गरीबों को साथ देने वाली पार्टी है।
See, all the MLAs, they are there in their own constituencies. Once they receive the winning certificate, yes, they will all come here because we have always worked together. We believe in collective leadership, so we are going to even celebrate the victory together. That is the reason we have called all of them to come over here.
Even before the counting could begin, there was celebration that was there in the lawn of AICC headquarters after a long time. Was the Congress party this confident?
Yes, absolutely. The campaign, because we were there in Karnataka, we saw the kind of campaign we ran. It was a very positive campaign, full of energy, and the response to that campaign also encouraged us a lot.
What really worked in Congress' favor? What is the majority that is going to be? Will it cross 140?
Yes, we are absolutely confident of having a clear, absolute majority. What worked is a good question. Bharat Jodo Yatra, the kind of issues Mr. Rahul Gandhi raised there and the kind of engagements he had there, that set the trend in Karnataka, especially because we spent a lot of days in Karnataka. And then the kind of campaign we ran here was a brilliant campaign.
One last question. Now the trouble once again starts. Who is going to be the CM face? That is, of course, going to be a big issue for Congress party.
There is no trouble. There is no trouble. Believe me, there is no trouble.
Celebrations have begun in the Congress camp, and the next headache perhaps for them is going to be who really is going to be the Chief Minister. There are several people that want to throw their hat in the ring. There have been conversations happening from even before the votes were cast, even before the campaigning began perhaps. And in the last 3 days, especially buoyed by the exit poll results, the Congress already started and the Congress leadership already started stacking up their cards as to who is going to be the next Chief Minister and where that particular mantle is going to be set at. Pallavi and Aman also continue to be with us. But as you see on your screens, the numbers that are flashing at the bottom of your screens, just taking you through the tally as it stands right now, it's 115 for the Congress. These are all leads, of course. Some of them are declared seats, not all of them. That is a 35 plus change from what they had in 2018. For the BJP, it's minus 29. They now stand at 75. The JDS, 27, again down 10 from what their 2018 tally stood at. The others, including some independents, the one NCP as well, are at 7. That also is up by 4 from 2018. The Congress is still just past two numbers past the halfway mark. They could be looking at the help of the independents and all the others. Pallavi is also something that they have given thought to, that need may arise.
Yes, but Congress left to itself is still praying and wishing, Poonam, that it gets at least 120 to 125 seats. It makes life easier for them. They don't want to depend on independents. See, the whole idea of Operation Kamal also began from here. So that is why flights are ready, choppers are ready, all MLAs are going to fly down to Bengaluru. You keep the flock together. DK Shivkumar's role comes in there, which ironically he also happens to be one of the contenders really for the top post. So that's going to be interesting to watch. So, you know, the Congress would be happy and mixed feelings. If they have someone like a Siddaramaiah is definitely going to look at a situation where he's comfortable in the win and therefore he becomes a CM and keep the people together. I'll draw an example to Rajasthan. The reason why Ashok Gehlot was chosen also because one, MLAs were with him, and second, they felt that he could work the magic as far as the Lok Sabha election goes, which didn't work out. And third is push comes to shove, he keeps the flock together. Now, Siddaramaiah's argument will also pretty much be the same, which is why I personally feel that he is likely to remain the front runner as far as the CM face for the party is concerned once those results become very, very official. But DK Shivkumar also has his own support. I mean, his supporters point out that, look, whenever you were in trouble, he's the one who kind of bailed the party out. Sure. Second, he's the one who took on the BJP, I mean, the ED and all of that. It's clear post Karnataka, Poonam, that I think corruption is going to be the electoral slogan for the Congress for 2024 as well. They're going to try and use him as a poster boy. Look how he was harassed. There were no charges against him. There was nothing against him. So his supporters are going to push for the DK factor or how he became the turnaround guy and strengthened the organization. Supporters of DK are certainly saying that. I would put my bet on Siddaramaiah.
Absolutely. I think Siddaramaiah is going to be, I believe, the next Chief Minister of Karnataka if these numbers hold from the Congress, and they are expected to hold. As per the EC website, I can see the 43% vote share for the Congress, huge. With 43% vote share, I think they're going to cross 120 by the end of the day. That would be a comfortable win, and if that happens, if they cross 120, I think they don't need anybody's support. It will be Siddaramaiah. By far, he remained the mass leader of the Congress in the state, the one with the most resonance across the state. And DK Shivkumar, though, as Pallavi is correctly saying, he's the one, the crisis manager in the Congress. But I think with Siddaramaiah is already saying this is his last election. So in a way, he said this is his last term as the CM if the Congress wins. So I think also what would be important is because there's a Lok Sabha election in a year's time. So Congress would want to win seats in the Lok Sabha in Karnataka as well. So that could also be, I think, a major factor in choosing the next chief minister. And obviously the fight is between Siddaramaiah, not the fight, in a way they have not portrayed it as a fight. The competition is between both of them. And when we interviewed Siddaramaiah, he clearly said that both me and DK Shivkumar are the contenders, and whatever the party high command decides will be final. But I think still, Pallavi, there will be some tug of war.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And this resort politics that we've seen from saving the party from horse trading, will we see this kind of resort politics with two camps taking their supporters and MLAs to try and put pressure on the leadership?
face of it, maybe not, Poonam, but like if it's going to be a wafer-thin majority and it's about keeping your flock together, I'm sure DK Shivkumar will expect that, like I'm going to ensure that our government is formed, but how can I not be the CM? I'm the only one who can keep the flock together. So, yeah, I think it's a bigger problem for the Congress when they win.
And who also...
Koi teesra na ban jaye in sabke beech mein.
G. Parmeshwara, the former Deputy Chief Minister, also said, why just look at these two people?
Exactly.
We hadn't had a Dalit CM for the longest time in the state, so why not look at that as well?
Some people see that maybe, is that a plan B of the Congress? Mr. Kharge choosing a Dalit CM, for example, to... But, then what do you do of Mr. DK, Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah? What role will they can't serve under Mr. Parmeshwara for anything? So, no, that will, I think
for now it seems
like Siddaramaiah, and Mr. DK Shivkumar maybe being chosen maybe as the Deputy CM as well as the PCC Chief. So, he holds two posts. I think the Rajasthan formula.
And Congress would hope that the Rajasthan situation doesn't repeat itself in Karnataka, because Rajasthan is also a state that goes to elections later in this year. That formula is still something that the Congress seems to only just be cracking even 5 years into their governance in Karnataka. I request you to stay on with us. We'll keep taking you through the numbers as well. But there are reactions coming in from both sides. The BJP is still hopeful. This is still early trends. Numbers are still coming in. Whether it goes the BJP's way or not, listen to what they had to say about that.
जैसे जैसे दिन ढलेगा वैसे वैसे पिक्चर ज़्यादा साफ होगी. मुझे अभी लगता है कि बहुत शुरुआती रुझान पे किसी एक पार्टी के लिए भी कोई आंकड़ा जो है सही नहीं होता है, लेकिन इस बात को तस्लीम करता हूं कि आज जिस तरह से चल रहे हैं, अभी इस वक्त नेक टू नेक देख रहा है, लेकिन जैसे जैसे दिन ढलेगा 12 बजे तक पिक्चर क्लियर होगी और हम बहुमत हमें मिलेगी और हम सरकार बनाने में बिल्कुल सफल होंगे. दावे तो सभी पार्टी करते हैं और हम भी अपने दावे कर रहे हैं, लेकिन 12 बजे तक जो है वो पिक्चर आपको भी साफ दिखेगी, हमें भी साफ दिखेगी. लेकिन मेरा अनुमान है जो हमारे ज़मीनी फीडबैक है, हमारे पन्ना प्रमुख के तौर पे जो फीडबैक आया है उसके बेसिस पे मुझे लगता है कि हम बहुमत आराम से साबित करेंगे.
को इतना उम्मीद है हम ये वो क्या हमका बहुमत मिलना है वो पार करते हैं हम लोग.
बहुमत में 113 पार कर जाएंगे आप?
जरूर.
अभी भी इतना विश्वास है?
पूरा विश्वास है.
एग्जिट पोल पे विश्वास नहीं
कुछ नहीं, जमीनी हकीकत हमको पता है. वी नो द बेटर. इस बार किसी का जरूरत नहीं. बीजेपी ऑन इट्स ओन हमारा पाए में हम खड़ा होता है, हमारा सरकार बनते हैं. नॉट ओनली इंडिया, द होल वर्ल्ड इज लुकिंग बाय ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी. द मोदी जी इज द एसेंस ऑफ इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स एंड ही इज द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द पॉलिटिक्स.
Now let's look at certain regions as far as Karnataka is concerned and who really has gained where. Let's look at the urban vote, and that really has been the forte of the BJP, which is what it seems like is this time's result as well. As far as the urban seats go, they are 46 out of the 224 strong assembly. The BJP has 24, which is an increase of 1 from last time around. The Congress is at 21. The JDS is at 1, down from one of their seats back in 2018. So the BJP pretty much is there. And Aman, this urban belt, the literate population, the literate voter, it seems to have been favoring the BJP across different states, across as far as the Lok Sabha trend is also concerned.
Clearly, and this is also because of the Prime Minister's strong development pitch. This double engine development, double Sarkara, which he said in Karnataka. Maybe the literate voter is able to connect more with that, more with the pitch that infrastructure is being built, the whole Bangalore-Mysore expressway, or be it the metro in Bangalore or the Namma metro and all that. So, that I think the voter resonates with that. And if you see the Bangalore urban seats which we have opened up, BJP has managed to retain most of the seats it had earlier. And also this is the area where the Prime Minister held two big road shows as well. But it may not have helped the BJP to win more seats in Bangalore, especially the urban seats, but it seems to be holding on to whatever it had, like 23 seats that the last time it's added one seat. So in a way, that kind of voter seemed, but also urban seats mein voting was also lower, So that is also like BJP's new faces. Yeah, it's still very much the same story, it seems here.
And the BJP had this narrative that, every time we try and beat anti-incumbencies, we replace our chief ministers. They've done that with other states as well. So they coined this new term of pro-incumbency, which is also one of the reasons why they dropped a lot of their sitting candidates and newer faces were introduced. But that doesn't seem to have worked really for them.
But Jagdish Shettar, if there's any, kind of solace the BJP is looking at. But frankly speaking, Poonam, when I was on the ground in Hubli, Dharwad area, I was speaking to voters. Many of them say that, you cannot be so ideologically in stark contrast when you decide to join the Congress. And second, they said, maybe if he had contested an independent, perhaps, possibly he would have got the votes. And they did not like the fact that, how he switched sides. But I think that even if he had contested from the BJP and the BJP understood this, chances were that he would still have lost because there was an anger on the ground, I mean, considering that he's been so many times MLA from there.
Yeah.
ಆ ಥರನೇ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇದೆ ಈಗ. ನಾವು 120 JDS 25-26 ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಸೊ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ 120 ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಗೆಲ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇನ್ನ 5 ರೌಂಡು 6 ರೌಂಡು 7 ರೌಂಡಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರೌಂಡ್ಗಳಾಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ 120ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
Confident of victory, the numbers are really in their favor. That's what the Congress's mood has been like. And there's definitely a huddle that's happening as far as Siddaramaiah and his camp is concerned, DK Shivkumar and his camp is concerned, because now really is the time to try and build that kind of pressure on the leadership, because it really is going to come down to that. It's not about the numbers anymore. The Congress is confident that this is their election and they've won it. But the wait for thin majority for now still continues, because as far as the numbers go, it's 117 for the Congress as we speak. These are still trends. They're not all declared results. 27 for the JDS, 73 for the BJP, much below what they were last time around. But not only is the Congress the single largest party, they also have a comfortable majority. 113 is the halfway mark, and that is something that they are going to be very, very is the kind of trend that we've seen as far as Karnataka goes. They've seen revolving door governments for close to 40 years now. Now, the BJP wanted to buck that trend because they've done so in other states like Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh. But clearly, Karnataka going with the pattern, Pallavi.
See, I always felt this, and this is something which the only thing I was very sure saying is that people would give a decisive mandate. I think those times of, hung and all that, there people do understand. And the more people kept on talking about ki hung ho sakta hai, hung ho sakta hai, I think the voters made up their mind, let's not waste a vote beyond a point of time. Yes, the JDS does have dedicated voters, so they'll vote for them. But beyond that, I think they decided that, we need to have a decisive mandate. Bahut ho gaya, people leaving this party and going. I guess when the final figures come in, we'll want to know how many of those turncoats actually won the elections, whether it really matters.
Or
and
all
whether
they did was cut
parties also
votes.
need to take a call on this, and this turncoat thing has to stop because it doesn't give you any political dividends.
Like Jagdish Shettar, like you were mentioning, for all that he did was just cut into votes, and for both sides, that's really the only impact that he perhaps had in the election if he loses it.
Absolutely. And I think adding to what Pallavi is saying, that this election also shows the fact that, because the Congress, the kind of why BJP won Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Tripura for that matter, is also because of some strong state leadership there. It was not just Prime Minister Narendra Modi putting in the entire effort. Here in Karnataka, it seemed that the state leadership was totally missing from the picture. It was basically banking totally on the Prime Minister. And how much can the Prime Minister do at the end of the day if you don't have strong state leaders, if you don't have a strong state leadership, and if there is a divide in the BJP camp in Karnataka, which was spoken about in hushed tones, but now I believe it will be spoken about openly if Mr. B.S. Yedurappa actually comes out and says that, his hand was, he was not given a free hand. So, and we saw Mr. B.S. Yedurappa not campaigning that effectively towards the end of the campaign. See, anyways, the BJP had a big challenge after replacing Mr. B.S. Yedurappa with B.S. Bommai. You know, Mr. B.S. Bommai had very large shoes to fill. Plus, he was not a charismatic leader or not a leader with mass appeal in Karnataka as Mr. B.S. Yedurappa was. But despite that, I think the two things which have really worked against the BJP in Karnataka is obviously the Congress campaign on corruption, which I think stuck onto the BJP, stuck onto the state BJP rather. Usually in any election, it is the other way around. It's the BJP which is accusing the Congress of being corrupt in state elections. This time, I think after a long time, maybe Congress was accusing the BJP of being corrupt, and BJP was not being able to counter it effectively. And second factor, I think, which has worked is definitely the 5 guarantees of the Congress, especially, I think, the rupees 2,000 promise for women. This election, I believe, is a story of how the Mahila voter of Karnataka in some measure has shifted from the BJP to the Congress. This kind of result is not possible unless the female voter, the woman voter has shifted, and that woman voter has shifted not just because of the rupees 2,000 promise, also because of the inflation issue. The LPG cylinder was selling for rupees.
The cylinder inside the Congress office
is like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
it was
very where DK Shiv Kumar was garlanding it on voting
and every
day
press conference,
yes.
every press conference, in fact, in the PC hall, that cylinder has been kept there.
Yeah.
So, you know, whoever is giving that sound bite, piche pe cylinder dikhta hai. I also think that this is a lesson perhaps the Congress party will now try and emulate, is that you have to cultivate strong local leaders. This, you know, influx of Delhi netas to the state level is okay, you know, like little micromanagement in the background, but largely elections need to be fought by local leaders. This is something which Karnataka elections is...
It's a lesson, absolutely. And same work for them in Himachal. They had Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu, you know, as a strong mass leader there. He worked and he was rightfully made the CM, I believe. It's good that the Congress didn't fall for the trap of making Pratibha the CM, because Sukhu was actually the one who worked on the ground. Same here, I think, having a strong leader, and the BJP will also take a lesson from this, that, you know, you need a strong CM. The PM alone won't be able to win you an election if you don't have a strong CM. We have seen that in Uttar Pradesh, where Yogi has a strong CM. BJP was able to create history by repeating a government in Uttar Pradesh because they had a strong CM, and obviously the PM remains hugely popular. But in a state election, the PM's factor has its limitations. You know, he can take you to beyond a point, and I think BJP, if it reaches 75 seats, it is also because of the PM. I think without the PM, BJP might have not even crossed 50 seats.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
So, you know, that is a lesson for the BJP also, that they need to cultivate strong state leaders. And, you know, in a big state like Karnataka, you need that. And I think Congress campaign in Karnataka was brilliant. It started early, 3 months back. Sunil started the campaign strategist who started the campaign, focused on local issues. A state election is about local issues, you know. So I think the Congress did a fabulous job. The BJPs at many points did not have a counter to this local-centric campaign of the Congress, except saying कि ये guarantee जो Congress बोल रहा है ये पूरा नहीं होगा. But people, you know, Poonam, if you go to the houses in Karnataka, people will bring out that guarantee card. It was like a document which, you know, had signs of both DK Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah saying आपको 2,000 रुपए woman को मिलेगा, 3,000 रुपए graduate को मिलेगा. So people in, you know, villages feel like किसी ने guarantee card दिया, sign करके दिया, तो ये तो check हो गया ना, ये तो in cash होगा अगर हम जीतेंगे. So, you know, there were families which told us that, you know, every family has a woman. And many families have an unemployed graduate as well. So you get to stand 5,000 rupees a month. That's a big amount. And, you know, they also felt that ये पैसा तो हमें तब मिलेगा जब स्टेट में कांग्रेस का सरकार आएगा, पर जो सेंटर से पैसा आ रहा है पीएम किसान निधि का, वो तो नहीं रुकेगा, तो वो भी आ रहा है. तो वोटर्स also become intelligent, and I think this election, I would believe, Pallavi, is about the woman voter shifting in some measure from the BJP. और BJP को woman voter ने पिछले कई इलेक्शंस में, स्टेट इलेक्शन में, जनरल इलेक्शन में सॉलिडली बैक किया है. दैट फॉर मेनी रीजंस. दैट्स फॉर द उज्ज्वला स्कीम, दैट इज फॉर कोविड राशंस, दैट्स फॉर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर एंड सिक्योरिटी. But in this election, I think the 2,000 rupee promised by the Congress has proved to be a clincher for them.
And as far as the Ujjwala scheme is concerned, or the post-COVID ration is concerned, they've run their course. It's been too long after they've been...
It has petered out.
And with Karnataka, they couldn't really use that as leverage. And the whole women voter trend that the Congress has seemed to jump really on. We saw that in Himachal as well.
Yeah,
even as far as their campaign goes, Priyanka Gandhi really was at the forefront every time a pot shot had to be taken.
She's also saying the same thing. I agree with you.
Priyanka Gandhi was pretty much the only one who directly spoke against the Prime Minister every single time.
Exactly.
The Prime Minister made a comment and the rebuttal came in just a few hours later from Priyanka Gandhi. We didn't see anybody else in the Congress really taking the Prime Minister head on.
That's also the plan, because they feel that if there's anyone the Prime Minister can be countered effectively by, and where there will not be a personal attack back, is actually Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Sonia Gandhi, when she was very active, remember, there. It boomeranged for the BJP in 2004, you know, that Jersey cow and all of that boomeranged.
Correct.
Because hamare desh mein abhi bhi that thing is there. You don't attack a woman publicly. I'll give you an example of Bengal. You know, there was a time when even the TMC felt that, okay, maybe we are not going to win. But the moment you started saying those Bermuda shorts and her fractured leg and all of that, it worked in the favor of Mamata Banerjee. Similarly, over here in Karnataka, they deliberately fielded, calculated that these are the areas where Priyanka Gandhi Vadra needs to go to, and therefore, and her timing. There were last minute changes in her routes, you know, and rallies. Suddenly she was brought in. So at one point of time, you would not see a Rahul plus a Priyanka, both of them in Karnataka campaigning together. There were spaces which were made. Priyanka was mostly taking on the Prime Minister. So if the Prime Minister talked about 91 times they've abused me, she's fielded the next day immediately.
Yes.
Then when, you know, remember when they attacked Sonia Gandhi on the sovereignty issue, again suddenly she says, you know, main aa to rahi thi, I was looking, everything was looking that, you know, finally the Prime Minister is talking about local issues. But then, मैंने news देखा and फिर से पटरी से उतर गए. Again, the way she talks, you know, she's a better orator than Rahul Gandhi. She is like more in your face, very casual, not reading from a paper, all of that. So they fielded her very. Woman factor have always been important. I mean, you know, this whole Indra Amma and this concept has worked, whether it's Andhra Pradesh, whether it's there in Karnataka. So that's the reason I think Priyanka is going to be used increasingly in many of the other upcoming state elections. But then, let's not presume that it's going to work all the time for her.
See, I think also importantly, besides this thing what Pallavi is saying, Priyanka is also the one who announced these promises. So, you know, be it in Himachal and both in Karnataka, it was Priyanka who went there and did a public rally and said कि हम 2000 पे women को देंगे. तो credibility ज़्यादा है. Mahila is promising you कि हम महिला को देंगे.
There's more credibility when a woman makes an announcement.
Absolutely, and woman-centric promise. You know, when a woman-centric promise is offered that we'll give you 10 kgs of rice or we'll give you 2,000 rupees per month in your bank account to a woman, I think Priyanka's voice maybe carried more credibility and people could connect more with her, and that has been a major, and this is a deliberate strategy, I think it is. And importantly, she said, हम पहली cabinet meeting में देंगे. So there is no delay. जैसे ही हमारी सरकार बनेगी, in the next first cabinet meeting, we will start giving this amount.
Which I think they did the same in Himachal also. Sukhwinder Sukhu's first cabinet meeting, they announced that. Even Rahul Gandhi tweeted, and you know, in that little video clip he came out with, he said, पहली cabinet meeting में पहला ये होगा.
So that is, I think, the new formula that also importantly, I think the Congress has come up with, that, you know, give that, promise that cash dole. I think it works. It worked for them in Himachal. It has now worked for them in Karnataka. And Kamal Nath has already announced it for Madhya Pradesh.
In Rajasthan also,
1500 रुपए. More importantly, लगता है 2024 में Congress is going to come up कि cash in the hands of every woman in the country, maybe that kind of a Nyaya 2.0 kind of a scheme the Congress would like to work on, getting from these successes. So all that is there, but I think the immediate question on our mind is who's becoming the CM.
The Chief Minister.
Who's becoming the Chief Minister. So I think it looks like to me that Mr. Siddaramaiah, and I remember meeting him for an interview during the Karnataka elections, he sounded very confident. And, you know, when I asked him that, you know, everybody says you are the CM face and you are the most popular leader, he said, finally, somebody is saying the correct thing to me. That is what he remarked to me. Ki shukar hai Delhi. He told me that finally somebody from the Delhi media is saying the correct thing to me. So clearly he believes that, you know, he is the actual grassroots leader and he has been CM before, and this is his last innings, and ahead of, I think, 2024 Lok Sabha, the Congress will take its bet. And maybe
but look at his swag today, no?
Yeah.
Look at how Siddaramaiah is going, sipping coffee in Mysore, very casual.
And he's not the kind of leader who's very flamboyant. You know, he will not the one who will do a full-time interview, you know, with all the, you know, that kind of a person. He's not the one.
He has a drawl. He has a very drawl way of chatting, you know, like kind of, oh, I'm very tired. I wish I wasn't here.
Yeah.
DK Shivkumar began like that, but he's also a little bit more animated now.
Yeah, so Siddaramaiah is more of a grounded leader. So I remember when I met him, you know, he had this whole viral infection in his hand. So he's showing me his hand. See, my hand has got swollen, and everybody keeps touching me during the campaign.
He said that in that video.
And then he said, "Come and sit beside me and do the interview." So it is like a very, you know, very charming kind of a grandfatherly kind of a figure.
No, I think it was more eyeing Gandhis ko thoda sa sympathy mil jaye, mujhe bana do. Don't do that. Don't give it to DK Shivkumar, please, guys. And look what I've suffered and all of that.
Yeah, so
but the mass appeal that Siddaramaiah has is far. It's not comparable to what DK Shivkumar has.
See, we don't understand that language, Poonam, but I would notice ek do rallies mein when he would just stand up and speak. I mean, it was crazy the kind of clap. It was very natural, very organic clapping. ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने किसी को बोला कि ताली बजाओ मैं बोल रहा हूँ. it was very, very obvious that he had that kind of power.
Yeah, I remember going to the Kolar rally of Rahul Gandhi, where Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar both were on stage. Siddaramaiah got a bit late getting onto the stage. I think his car came or whatever happened. When he was standing there, people were almost awaiting him. So when he came on the stage and Rahul lifted his hand, there was a sudden applause in the crowd. And Kolar, he came to Kolar a day after he was denied the ticket from Kolar. He was only Varuna se ladenge. So there were people in the crowd actually shouting in protest, saying Siddaramaiah should contest from Kolar. And Siddaramaiah had to, just calm them down. Ki nahi, let's say. So Siddaramaiah obviously remains a far, and I mind you, even the BJP admits it. I have spoken to senior BJP leaders. If it wins Karnataka, it is because they have a mass leader in Siddaramaiah. He combines, he's perhaps the only leader in Karnataka, Poonam, who along with Muslims and Korbas gets 21% dedicated vote share is for Siddaramaiah. No other leader commands a 20% loyal vote share for himself, and that is a big reason also. I think if Congress getting 43% vote as
I think towards the end, that little kind of whisper campaign started becoming that agar hum jeette, it will be Siddaramaiah. I mean, I don't know if we can ever pull out those pictures, but I still remember during the Bharat Jodo Yatra how he's holding Rahul Gandhi's hand and running.
Both of them running, yeah.
So let's see who wins that race now.
Who wins that race?
And all this camaraderie, or at least the optics of that, started much earlier. It was his birthday bash where Rahul Gandhi was
Rahul
at,
went
where,
to Tumkur.
Yeah, and they were all on the stage, and Rahul held their hand, and they were all like, "This is our show of unity. This is how we're going into that election."
So the
that
superstition is there, Poonam. Sorry to butt in, but there's a superstition that जो दावनगढ़े में अपना campaign शुरू करता है ना, they win the election, which is why the BJP of course was there, and that's why he wanted his birthday bash in Davangere.
Yes, you wrote that story, I remember. Why?
But I also made the dosa.
And that's really the context that we want to give you here as far as the Congress is infighting, not so much infighting now. They'd like to say that we've buried the hatchet and we've fought on a united front, which is exactly why these elections have been won. Yes, there is a trend of a revolving door government in Karnataka, but it couldn't have been easy. The Congress has managed to do it because Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar were on the same page. That's what the Congress would like to say. That's what the Congress would like to believe as well. And as far as we see certain regions, Aman, that combination of DK Shivkumar in one region and for the Vocaliga vote and Siddaramaiah in the other region for the OBC Kurba vote, that seems to have worked. Look at the southern Karnataka region. Out of the 57 seats, 29 are with the Congress and a jump of 12 from their last tally. Now, the old Mysuru region is believed to be a JDS bastion, but it looks like the Congress has gained at the JDS's expense.
Extremely significant. I think this is the region which shows the way the election has swung. I think the Muslim voter in southern Karnataka, which was earlier divided between the Congress and the JDS, I think after the Bajrang Dal promise of the Congress in this manifesto, it seems to have shifted in some measure to the Congress. Congress getting from 17 seats going up to 29 seats, very, very significant. And old Mysuru, when both Siddaramaiah was contesting from Varuna, that has also had an impact in that region. BJP already was not doing that well, but it's dropped even further in this election in old Mysuru. I think this is the region which has mainly, costed the BJP this election, and BJP was hoping that JDS would not lose its crown. The JDS would still get 26, 27 seats in its region, and Congress would not gain. Clearly, that has not worked. And I remember, when the Bajrang Dal thing came, most of us were, including me, were slamming the Congress for doing this self-goal. It doesn't seem to be a self-goal. It seems to be a masterstroke. And they have been able to consolidate the Muslim vote with that comment without losing many of their Hindu voters who have voted for them on caste lines. So it seems that the Bajrang Dal controversy, instead of helping the BJP, has ended up helping the Congress, especially in old Mysuru.
And that would have been looked at as a counter as far as the BJP's move to scrap the 4% Muslim vote goes. The BJP thought they would consolidate the Hindu vote further in their favor. But because the Bajrang Dal comment happened, the Congress somehow managed to consolidate the other side in their favor, and that's really what seems to have given them the edge.
Yes, I think that was also a part of the plan. I mean, the Congress party wanted, we were discussing this earlier in the day. For many people, it may have looked like a confused Congress, but sometimes you confuse your opponents. And there's a method in the madness. So if you have on one hand the Bajrang Dal ban, then you have a Moily who's being fielded to say, look, it cannot happen at the state level. And then suddenly you have a DK Shivkumar saying Hanuman temple aayega. Mallikarjun Kharge in his interview to me says, I built 80 Hanuman temples. And even today, look, even as counting began, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra going to a Jakhu Mandir in Shimla. And many of the people who are cheering at the Congress headquarters, as I see those pictures, they are holding a Hanumanji, and look, he's holding it.
Bajrang Bali.
Chances are एक बजरंग बली का मंदिर बन ही जाएगा अंदर कांग्रेस.
And we had people dressed up as Hanuman. We had my colleague speak to someone outside here at the AICC office in Delhi as well. So that's a narrative really that they, even though the backlash that they faced, they didn't really shy away from it. They decided to take that head on. We had the Congress leaders come out and respond almost immediately that it really wasn't a ban that we were looking at one particular organization. And the kind of defense that came to the fore from the Congress party seems to really have worked. But as far as the BJP story goes, look at the Lingayat dominated areas as far as seats are concerned, as far as at least southern Karnataka. Now this is a group that is believed was elections. But even there, we see out of the 6 seats, the BJP has only managed 2, and this despite one section of the Lingayats getting a 2% reservation just a few weeks ahead of the elections.
But that decision never worked out. No, they promised it, but the Supreme Court stayed it. So it effectively never rolled out. So, the benefit of that, I think, didn't come to the BJP in any way. I think if we see the total Lingayat seats in Karnataka, maybe the entire state, maybe we'll get a better picture on that how is that playing out. This is just southern Karnataka. So if you play out maybe the whole state, it will be clearer. This is the overall Lingayat dominated. So if you see, this.
No, I believe there's some glitch in this. We'll try and figure that out. But as far as the overall picture goes, this is where the Congress's tally is currently at. 224 is the final tally. The numbers are still coming in. There are leads that are happening. Those are visuals of the incumbent Chief Minister, Basavaraj Bommai, several other people at his residence as well, watching the results perhaps live as they are coming in, and he doesn't look like a very happy man.
That looks like a picture of this election.
He looks like he's given up. He knows there's nothing more that can be done.
Yeah, that is the picture of this election maybe today. Mr. Boves Bommai in that somber kind of mood watching the television channels and not many people around him. And I remember Zaka saying yesterday when he went to interview Mr. Bommai at his residence, there was hardly any BJP worker. It doesn't look like it's a chief minister kind of a aura. I think the BJP knew that it can't win this election on BS Bommai's face. It was always that, they always, this election for BJP was all about the Prime Minister. Can the Prime Minister rescue this election for the BJP? But I think there's a lesson in here for the BJP.
But how fair is that? I mean, why should you, as a political party, be expecting that the PM also will keep on trying and rescue you all the time?
And that's what the PM said at one of the BJP meetings earlier, that mere naam pe kitna election jeetoge, yaar ground pe khud bhi kaam kariye. So he gave that message to people.
And he's going to be busy and preoccupied with a national level kind of, now 2024 is not too far away.
So Karnataka is a lesson in that BJP needs to cultivate strong state leadership and actually invest in them, and maybe now the questions will be asked. I think I am keenly awaiting what B.S. Yedurappa is going to say, because now that thing will start that, okay, you removed me as the chief minister, see what has happened.
Yeah, up until now he's been maintaining a
silent
cooperation, so to say, with Bommai and the state leader. But this perhaps is going to give him the ammunition to start
I think he's not going to keep quiet, and also in a way B.S. Yedurappa, his camp also had been hinting in the elections. He was in a way humiliated because he had gone public to the media saying Jagdish Shettar will get the ticket, 95% he will get the ticket. And then Jagdish Shettar was denied the ticket. And Yedurappa went to Shettar's constituency, Hubli, Dharwad, to campaign against Shettar. So in a way, that was a confused signal. The Lingayat top leader is campaigning against a former CM who's also a Lingayat. In a way, I think the base Yedurappa factor in this election, and was he totally listened to? Was his strategy totally followed? There has been this talk in the BJP of a tussle between Mr. Yedurappa and Mr. B.L. Santosh, who was handling the Karnataka campaign for the BJP. So that, I think that fight will now, which was spoken about in whispers, I suspect it will be spoken about openly now from either camp. Then who is to take the blame for this kind of defeat for the BJP in Karnataka? That will come out now in the open. And I think B.S. Yedurappa in a way is now walking into the sunset in a way his career, and he's ending his career with such a devastating kind of a loss.
Loss for the BJP.
So that is something that I don't think he will take kindly to.
And the numbers are only increasing for the Congress's camp. At last count, when we were looking at the numbers, they were at 114. Now they're at 118. The BJP stays at 72, JDS at 27. That's the number that we're showing you. And look at the vote share as far as this election goes. The Congress has managed to increase their vote share from all elections put together.
And Poonam 5% this year from 38% directly to 43%. With a 43% vote share, I think the Congress is easily going to cross 120 seats by the end of the day. They're already at 117, 118.
They're already at 118, and it looks so that, they are really going to go towards a comfortable majority. There isn't going to be a chance where they will have to, think of whether there'll be horse trading, whether we need to push our MLAs into a resort, perhaps in the state of Karnataka or outside.
They are making the arrangements, though. The choppers and all of them are ready.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah.
Always have a plan B
The
ready.
political party, they will. I mean, they were also very anxious about this fact, that whether we are going to get a clear majority or not. If it had been a wafer-thin win or no single party gets a majority, it would have been a problem for the Congress party, which is why the importance of DK Shiv Kumar was, of course, increasingly felt. But now they all MLAs have come to the hotel, kal meeting hoga. I don't think they're going to take too much on time in deciding who the CM is going to be.
I think it will be a quick decision now, because if they get, as we are suspecting, above 120 seats, I think it will be a quick decision. But there will be obviously some tussle, a bit of a tussle, but I think...
For all you know, they maybe are already spoken to.
Yeah.
I think by evening, they will speak to whoever they need to speak to.
See, I just think it this way, that, if they don't opt for Siddaramaiah, this might be trouble for the Congress in Karnataka. What if Mr. Siddaramaiah tomorrow, rebels? Then they have a bigger problem at hand. So I think for now, it must be Siddaramaiah. I don't know, maybe after a couple of years, or, if something changes. But I think given the Lok Sabha election is just next year, and they are very keen to win number of seats in Karnataka, which last time BJP had almost swept the state. I think it will be crucial for them to bank on somebody like Siddaramaiah to help them, because this is one part of the fight. The main fight for Karnataka is in the Lok Sabha next year, when Congress is aiming at winning a large number of seats in Karnataka. I think that is the if Congress is able to win 12 to 15 seats in Karnataka, that has larger national implications as well.
And 28 Lok Sabha MPs from the state. So the BJP losing their only gateway to the south, their only state in the south, that is something that the BJP will also have to think about come 2024.
Yeah, but Poonam, equally for the Congress party, South had become from being a one-kind bastion to an area, where they didn't have a hold on. Telangana gone, Andhra Pradesh gone, powerful regional parties have come up there as an alternative, right? And they were some of them who were a part of the Congress, like a Jagan Mohan Reddy for that matter. And then Kerala. Kerala remains important because Rahul Gandhi was a member of parliament from there. It'll be interesting. So again, I know you're going to say again and again, but Priyanka Gandhi Vadar, will Karnataka then become her area to enter into election?
Raebareli?
No, if Sonia Gandhi continues in Raebareli, but then will Karnataka
from Bellary?
Yeah, Bellary or Chikmagalur, could be anything.
Karnataka has also been, at least pockets of it have been the Gandhi family bastion as
we were discussing this. Chikmagalur bailed out the grandmother, Bellary for the mother. And who knows?
Oh, definitely. Because already you have Rahul Gandhi from Kerala, so he's no longer, but he will be. Yeah. I'm sure he will contest from Wayanad again. So we already have Rahul Gandhi from Wayanad, so maybe if two southern states, because also very importantly in the Lok Sabha battle of 2024, the mission is Mission South for both the BJP as well as for the Congress. So South is very important for both the parties, and I think in Karnataka, obviously they will want to pitch in their highest strength. So I think we have a consensus on Siddaramaiah as the next CM.
It's a Congress party, one never knows.
हमारा consensus तो हो गया, Congress का पता
नहीं. We have decided. हम तीनों में मतलब.
शायद Congress leadership का भी. We have decided. Perhaps the Congress leadership also has consensus. That consensus has to be between the two leaders and their supporters. That's also something that we'll have to look at. But as far as the regions go, both of those leaders have managed to hit the ground running, have managed to consolidate votes in their particular regions that they were campaigning in the particular vote bank that they were looking at. And that is something that has seemed to work for the Congress party, that they had this division of labor, this division of work that they did as far as regions are concerned, as far as the vote percentage, the vote population is concerned. The leaders managed to keep it all separate and yet in the end consolidate all in their favor. As far as the Vocaliga dominated seats go, this is what it looks like. There are 38 of the 224 which have a dominant Vocaliga population. The Congress has 18 seats, a 10 increase from last time. The BJP at 11, still an increase for them as well. The JDS really, like we were discussing as far as the old Mysuru region is concerned, the Congress has gained at the expense of the JDS, and that goes with the Vocaliga community as well. So the DK Shivkumar card, as far as this community goes, seems to have worked for the Congress party, which perhaps is going to be his pitch of why he should be made the chief minister.
He was also made this, I mean, Dinesh Gundura was the earlier PCC chief, and I think it was around the Lok Sabha elections when the Congress didn't do well in Karnataka. He accepted moral responsibility and stepped down. But, you know, in the Congress, all of that, you know, in any party for that matter, these are all planned and orchestrated. The reason why DK Shivkumar was also chosen was because of the Vocaliga community he comes in from. And also they felt that, you know, he would be in surrounding areas, could have an influence for the Congress. It clearly has worked. Also, he's aggressive, you know, I mean, he's a very good manager on the ground. I mean, you know, Congress party today suffers from lack of ground managers. I mean, many people talk about the fact that, you know, we don't have an Ahmed Patel anymore, Azad at one point of time when he was in the Congress party, or a Pranab Mukherjee. I mean, I don't think it's fair to put DK Shivkumar on the same platform as them, but certainly someone who has proved his mettle whenever there has been a problem for the Congress party in terms of troubleshooting. Maharashtra, Rajasthan, so on and so forth, you know. Like every time they win, even in Himachal, yeah, some of the MLAs were taken away to, I think, Karnataka or something by DK Shivkumar. So that's the importance of DK Shivkumar. So I mean, I don't know how they're going to placate him. Will they actually make him the chief minister? Will he be happy being the deputy CM? Or whether, you know, I mean, they'll tell him, you know, your time comes or something like that.
Or will they look at a 2.5 sort of formula?
Jai Viru ki jodi mein kaun dega qurbani?
Or will they look at a 2.5 sort of formula, something that they wanted to try out in Rajasthan and it didn't work, and it only spiraled out of
promised,
control?
but it never worked. So yeah, Mr. Dio never got his chance. So I think the 2.5 year doesn't work. Usme basically problem is pehle kaun banega. So you know, everybody wants to become the first. So that I don't think the Congress, I don't see Congress going for that. If that's a comfortable victory, I think Siddaramaiah is CM and DK Shivkumar is already PCC president in Karnataka. I think if they offer him, they may offer him deputy CM, so that a Vocaliga representation is also there, and he's the tallest leader of Vocaligas in Karnataka for the Congress, surely. As Pallavi says, will he accept that is the question.
But you know, I also think that people like Sachin Pilot must be watching it very closely, or the Generation X of the Congress party who hope to kind of take over. You know, it's very strange because I remember when Rahul Gandhi first came in, he would talk about how the younger people need to be given a chance, the younger people need to take over. So that's where Sachin Pilot was actually sent to Rajasthan. He was there for 4.5 years. And, you know, he wouldn't be very open about it, but somewhere down the line, you know, his supporters would say, you know, you talk about changing guard, you have a Generation X taking over, but you never give us a chance. It's always about seniors. Somewhere down the line, I'm sure DK Shivkumar would also complain about the fact that when it comes to bailing you out, I was always there for you. I never crumbled under any pressure. I didn't join the BJP. I continue to remain with the Congress party. And he says that in that interview that, you know, if I had joined the BJP, maybe I wouldn't have gone to jail. I think that comment was also directed at the Central Congress leadership, that why should my payback time not come now? Why is it that the senior people like Siddaramaiah, who's already been a chief minister, this time say, okay, fine, I give it up for someone who's younger and give me a chance. Let me become the chief minister. And, you know, and also pay back. You have to, you know, a person like Sachin Pilot also feels that, you know, his supporters feel that 4.5 years he spends there, party ko jitaya, but what has he got at the end of it? His critics say, like, listen, your time is still there. Politics, you don't keep on waiting for the future. It's now or never. So DK Shivkumar would want that pound of flesh at this point of time. But I don't know, my gut feeling is that maybe the transition is actually going to be quite smooth. I'm sure Kharge's challenge also begins now.
Exactly. This is his first major challenge,
His first major challenge to ensure that at least in his home state, the transition or the establishment of CM's chair actually goes on very, very smoothly.
Because Himachal mein they managed to do it very peacefully. You know, there was also this fear in Himachal that Pratibha's family, you know, because she's
But it didn't.
She did continue to remain the PCC chief in Himachal, while they made Sukhu as the CM. So I think similar.
And this despite the fact that she went on record to say that I should be made the chief minister.
I should be made. So they managed to control it there as well. So I suspect that because that was also because Himachal was a comfortable win. They won 40 seats. So, you know, it was a comfortable. I think if it had been like close to 113, 114, 115 kind of a win, then they will be tug of war that, you know, DK might say that, no, I can manage the numbers better.
Keep the flock together, yeah.
But if it's 120 plus, I think there is no great danger. And obviously, if they take a MLA's vote, I think Siddaramaiah will win hands down. If they go by the MLA vote decision, I think Siddaramaiah will, maximum MLAs will support him, though DK Shivkumar was the PCC chief.
And we've spoken about the Priyanka factor and the woman factor, but can't discount the Bharat Jodo Yatra and Rahul Gandhi as well. He did spend considerable amount of time in the state of Karnataka.
It was definitely one of his most successful legs, yeah.
And they always hoped that they would translate that popularity into votes. It looks like, at least for some seats, for some regions, they perhaps have managed to do it.
Yeah, see, the Yatra didn't. So there are two ways of looking at it. Yatra didn't go to Himachal and they won Himachal. The Yatra didn't go to Gujarat and they lost Gujarat, yeah. But yeah, the Yatra, see, the South was definitely one of the strongest points of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. And there were references to the Yatra when the Congress leaders were talking or in that manifesto. And I remember when Rahul Gandhi was announcing those 5 guarantees, he was saying that this is the kind of a feedback I got from the people. So periodically those clips would keep coming out. I mean, I'll tell you, for example, I was told about why...
Sorry to interrupt you there, but we have live results coming in from Hyderabad. Griha there.
From do we have the constituency number, sir? 222 222.
That was a live result hub there, getting us results coming. All tally goes. The Congress is at 120 as trends are still coming in. Some of them are declared results, some of them aren't. But at the last count, BJP is down by 32 seats from their 2018 tally, and that really is something very, very significant that they will have to look at. What are the kind of pockets and what are the kind of communities that they lost out from? Because it clearly has been a Congress's gain, and not just from the JDS, but even from the BJP. It has all gone to the Congress party, or so it seems, because it's not that the Congress could have gotten all of this from the JDS's share.
So it clearly shows that, you know, it's not more about particular constituency going to the Congress. It's a pan kind of a vote. And as I said, the pan vote is because of the Congress 5 guarantees, putting money into the hands of people. That dole has really worked on the ground, especially when, you know, and it has especially worked, Pallavi, because abhi price rise ek issue hai. 1100 rupees ka agar cylinder bik raha hai, to woman, if you're putting 2000 rupees in her hand every month, no questions asked, it is a major dole. And I think that has, and BJP ka uske paas, BJP didn't have really have a counter to that.
See, every time the BJP was talking about the Ujjwala scheme and how women have benefited, the Congress would counter it, you've given them a cylinder, but where do they have the money to keep on filling it up?
Even BL Santosh admitted that the Ujjwala is not working anymore in Karnataka because the LPG price is too high. So, you know, 2000 pe woman ke haath mein dena every month, you know, I think it's a major thing. That's why I'm calling it a rupees 2000 election. I think that is the one thing which has really swung this election. And if both from the JDS vote share and both from the BJP vote share Congress is gaining, that shows that it's a pan state kind of a movement towards it. And especially the 2000 plus 3000 for graduates. You know, the 5000 rupees is a major cash component, and I hope the Congress now gives it. You know, because in Himachal, they have not fully rolled out the 1500 rupee for women. I think only about 2 lakh women so far have got it in Himachal. Everybody's not got it yet. So obviously the BJP was countering this. I remember Nirmala Sitharaman even on polling day saying that the whole promise, the 5 guarantees of the Congress, if it is implemented, the cost of that is rupees 1 lakh crore. And Karnataka total budget is rupees 3 lakh crore. So obviously, how will they fulfill it? The BJP kept raising this issue that these promises are unviable. They can't be fulfilled, and Congress has not fulfilled them in last elections. But I think the voter has not listened to the BJP. Voter has listened, believed in the Congress, and as I said, वो जो guarantee card कांग्रेस ने घर घर जाके बांटा है साइन करके, people have believed.
Not yet. So right now there is no clear margin for the JDS except for that win in Hassan that's been announced. So right now it's still tricky to actually call out any of the numbers of the JDS except for that victory.
Still tricky for the JDS, but H.D. Kumaraswamy, in fact, this morning when he was asked about the exit polls and what role the JDS is going to play or, you know, slowly go into oblivion, he seemed pretty upset with that. He said, if you've already decided what the exit polls are saying, then why are you even asking me? Absolutely. And this is someone who was hoping to play the kingmaker, perhaps even was eyeing at a deputy chief ministerial position for him or his son, perhaps.
Those hopes have crashed because he was expecting Congress would stop at something like 100, 103, 105 and then it would desperately need the JDS. But sadly for JDS, that has not happened. And I think JDS has managed to stick to its traditional seats. It wins this 25, 24 seats. Last time it won 37, but obviously it's now down to its realistic. So JDS has in fact been limited to a region. It was also earlier also limited to region, but generally it's now become one region, old Mysore party. And I think people have voted decisively, Pallavi. They have voted, they wanted a stable government. They didn't want, I think, the JDS to again, become a CM with 30 odd seats. That is why I think there's a decisive mandate. Voter has become very intelligent. It doesn't want this khichdi sarkar anymore.
I think every election gives out that story. Ye public hai, ye sab janti hai. They are much, much smarter than any of us. They do know that what is it that they are supposed to do. I remember one thing I would bet my money on was that there would not be a hung assembly. People would say that there's going to be a hung assembly. Mujhe pata nahi kyun, wherever I was going, people would tell me ki no, we decide either which way. I didn't, when people would ask me that BJP or Congress, I said, mujhe ye nahi pata, but mujhe itna pata hai ki it's going to be a decisive mandate.
And that I think was pretty much clear with the kind of voter turnout that we saw as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Higher the
Absolutely
voter
right,
turnout.
Poonam. I mean, 70% plus. Obviously, people have made up their mind now that we want a decisive mandate because people get tired. Yaar. How long will you keep on having a hung assembly? No one, aaj ye hua, kal wo hua. People do get tired of that, and I think it's a good thing.
Higher voting also means stronger anti-incumbency vote. People have
but
come
initially
out
in the morning it wasn't too great, so I said, "Oh my God!" So they were very worried. The Congress was very worried. Suddenly, post lunch, you just saw out, like when I was leaving Kanakpur, I was driving back towards Bengaluru. I saw those people. Even I've never seen this before. People were actually, for them, it was an occasion to celebrate. So they left, I said, like I was telling this earlier also, at 5:30 in the morning when I was leaving for Kanakpura, Poonam, I thought the road would be khali. It was packed. People were all dressed up. So they obviously made up their mind, pehle breakfast karenge, we'll enjoy a family outing, we'll go and vote, and it's our day out, but we'll do our job, which is to go and cast our vote. So it was not a holiday,
And I saw Pallavi did that, I remember live doing, and the women queue was almost double the men's queue. So, that is another factor that women have very enthusiastically voted in this election. Anyways, out of 224 seats in Karnataka, in 122 seats, women voters were more than men voters. So, that is why I'm saying Mahila voter बहुत बड़ा factor था. महिला की queue भी ज़्यादा थी और महिला ने 2000 रुपए के कांग्रेस के वादे को they have bought it. अब वो fulfill होगा कि नहीं होगा, this is the biggest challenge for Congress.
No, it becomes very important for the Congress because there are other state elections coming up.
Yeah, because that is now a question of credibility, but women in Karnataka have bought the promise of Congress.
And the two other states that come up for elections are the only two other states that the Congress is in power in, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh.
So they are hopeful in Madhya Pradesh, and Kamal Nath is again a very veteran leader, so he understands that some things have to be.
और कमल नाथ ने स्मार्टली सबसे पहले अनाउंस कर दिया हम भी 1500 रुपए वुमेन को देंगे अगर हम जीत गए. So it's already adopted. Kamal Nath being Kamal Nath has already read the Congress mind कि यही एक magic potion है. I would call it the magic potion of the Congress has finally struck gold कि वुमेन को पैसा directly per month आप जेब में दीजिए. और वुमेन वोटर जो है पूनम, woman voter influences the entire family. If the woman of the family decides कि मुझे इसको वोट देना है, the son, the husband, everybody will realize कि ये अच्छा this money is going to come to our house. She influences not just her own vote, two other votes as well. Congress has hit gold, struck gold in this promise, and we will see it bigger and bigger in the run-up to 2024.
It's very because very quickly 2009, I think it was a food security bill and all of that. That was again actually an earlier attempt by the Congress, again led by Sonia Gandhi. It was her pet project that we need to have this because this is how women get happy. So I think it's that impact.
Yes.
Priyanka has clearly learned it from her mother, and her mother learned it from Indira Gandhi, and so on and so forth. That you need to win the women vote over.
Women vote over. BJP से भी सीखा है कि Mr. Modi gave 2 साल free COVID में rations to women. BJP वो उत्तर प्रदेश
BJP I think learned the game much before the Congress party now. That the women voters are the ones you need to tap.
Absolutely. And
it's also the Prime Minister's pitch against freebie culture, the BJP's pitch against freebie culture. That clearly hasn't worked. It has boiled down to the roti kapda makan narrative that we have.
But even Congress would criticize the freebie culture, but you do it. See, politics में you always, the first thing you do in politics is you take a step back and you go back on your own work.
लोगों को लगता है पहले अपने घर को महान बनाए, पैसा लेके देश को महान बाद में बनाएंगे. नहीं, empowerment बाद में कर लेंगे, पहले खुद तो empower हो जाए.
So it all comes down to the roti kapda makan that we've all heard of during all elections. We thought that that narrative was slowly changing, the kind of polarized elections that we saw in several other states. They tried to do that with Karnataka in certain regions as well. The scrapping of the Muslim quota which was put on hold, or the entire hijab issue. But they really weren't election issues, because if you look at the Muslim-dominated seats across the state, there's very little change. It's status quo.
It's status quo almost.
I also think things like, not nationalism doesn't always work in state elections. I mean, there were attempts being made to talk about Balakot and all of that. It doesn't always work. State elections are about state issues. They may work at a national level. See, 2024 Lok Sabha elections is a completely different ball game. यहाँ पे जो हुआ है more Local. I'm very surprised as a person who covers the Congress party that how much they got their mojo. I descended in Bengaluru, very cynical, ki God, they're going to mess it up. But they were very careful. No matter how much you provoke them, they would not want to comment on a topic which they felt could actually lead to a polarization.
Yeah, in Karnataka, BJP learned it. I think earlier the BJP state president, said all these issues, Tipu Sultan and all that. Later, people like Yedurappa himself said these are not issues. So BJP itself, I think, on the issue of Hindutva was a divided house in Karnataka. Or I remember Mr. Veerappa Moily telling me in an interview with me and Rohini that yes, South India में नहीं चलता है. This won't work in South India. यहाँ पे culture अलग है. People in certain parts of Karnataka, like coastal Karnataka, maybe a limited portion it may work. It's not a pan state issue, and I think that has I think BJP got its calculation a bit wrong in Karnataka on that.
And the Congress is beyond the 120 mark as well. It's at 121. As far as the vote share is concerned, the BJP would like to take solace in the fact that, our vote share hasn't decreased. It's the silver lining that they'd want to see as far as this Karnataka dark cloud is concerned.
And they would say, JDS का vote share पूरा जो है वो Congress ले गई है, तो हमने तो vote share अपना, we have retained our vote share. But these are things. Anyways, even in the last election, you see Congress had more vote share than BJP, but BJP had won larger number of seats. So with a similar vote share of 36%, BJP has dropped from 106 to 72. So, how do you explain that? So, obviously, that is something hard-thinking BJP will have to do.
And it's not just the Karnataka Congress or at the AICC headquarters that celebrations are on. We had celebrations coming in from the Congress office in Chennai as well. These are visuals coming in from Tamil Nadu in Chennai, where the Congress is celebrating. They have now pretty much Karnataka in their kitty. That is one state in the south of India that is in the Congress's kitty ahead of 2024. And that definitely is going to give a fillip to their campaign ahead of that. And they had a steady sort of win right since the beginning. If you look at this entire graph, the Congress has, apart from the first 1 hour or so when the postal ballots were being counted, once the EVMs opened up, the complete trajectory for the Congress has been a stable one.
And it seems like the trend will now going to stay and it's only going to rise because you see the BJP graph is a bit falling. If you see it, and Congress is a bit rising, and obviously, see with a 43% vote share, 125 seats is easily
And we're at noon.
Achievable.
This is usually when elections are pretty much by this time are called for some states at least. It looks like that would be the case, and there aren't any surprises. 122 now for
So I think Axis has again got it right. The Axis exit poll again seems on the mark. 122, 140 they said. If Congress stops at around 125, Axis has again got it spot on. After Uttar Pradesh, I think the second time Axis is getting it spot on.
Yeah. So they will be dancing and celebrating today.
Again.
Just like the Congress party is.
Just like the Congress party is, and we really
the word which is coming out is that a DK camp is not want to give up. I mean, already information is being circulated and put out by people who are close to the camp.
How hard DK has worked.
To be fair, I mean, during the COVID times and all of that, that work was certainly done. So I don't know how much of that is going to be bought by the top Congress leaders or whether the Congress president will do. But see, there are two ways of looking at it. Here is also a moment for perhaps the Congress party to experiment, to show that, okay, we are going to go in for someone who's younger, who everyone is not thinking he can be the CM, but we make him the CM. But then on the other hand, there will be a Sachin pilot if you make DK Shiv Kumar saying that if you could make him, why not me?
Exactly.
मैंने क्या गलत किया?
It will open up Pandora's box in Rajasthan.
Yeah, but now it's too late because now the elections are going to be in October, November. But then, just in case, it's like if he forms his own party, I'm talking about Sachin Pilot, he will at this point of time say, if DK is made the CM, that why did you do it for him and why did you not do it for me? I mean, I also worked for 4.5 years. See, I still think it's very difficult, though Siddaramaiah seems the front runner, but it's going to be very difficult for the Congress party to completely ignore DK Shiv Kumar. He actually has bailed out the party. In Ahmed Patel, as I said, I mean, I was there in Ahmedabad the whole night. Mr. Amit Shah was there in the counting, and it seemed that Ahmed Patel would lose. And Ahmed Patel losing would have been seen as a disaster for Sonia Gandhi because he was a political secretary of Sonia Gandhi. And that was the first big battle post the Lok Sabha elections. But DK Shiv Kumar was there, vote by vote, poaching rokne ke liye, and then it was a fantastic, he was called a giant killer. Whether it's Rajasthan, Maharashtra, everywhere DK has played that role. And who knows, he needs to play that role tomorrow and he'll say, you never even made me a CM. Why should I go out of my way? I have incurred the wrath of the BJP. They're going to target me. They're going to send me to ED and I'm going to be arrested and picked up once again. So you might as well make me the chief minister. So at least I'm protected on that ground.
Or perhaps they'll use the argument the other way around to say that you are a troubleshooter pan-India. So we can't have you busy as the chief minister of one state.
He'll not fall for that. It's like telling us, don't worry, tomorrow work aayega. Don't worry. And I'm the elder child in my family, Poonam. And I remember my mother would always tell me, Are, yeah, you're the elder one, na? Abhi chup ho jao, let your brother get it, this and that. And I used to feel it's so unfair, Why is it that she would always tell me your time will come, which never came within the family. So I don't think DK and his supporters are going to buy that. Let's see. I hope for their sake it doesn't turn out to be ugly.
It doesn't turn out to be another Rajasthan because that could have repercussions. What happens here is going to have repercussions in the upcoming elections in Rajasthan as well. We've already seen what's happening with Sachin Pilot and his Yatra. And the Congress seems to be in a catch-22 situation as far as Rajasthan is concerned. They can't afford to anger either of those groups, and the same situation is as far as Karnataka goes as well. Popularity of a mass leader versus the troubleshooter that you may need not just in Karnataka but across the country is something that the Congress will have to take its call on. Will we see a surprise entry? Will we see a third person altogether that you two can, let's not make this about you two because it's about the party and it's about the state?
But that was happening in Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel became the surprise entry. His name was definitely not among the front runners, but then he became the consensus candidate and he stuck on. And today he's again one of the biggest troubleshooters of the Congress party. And he's endeared himself. He's crystallized and consolidated his position within Chhattisgarh so much so it was very difficult to go in for that 2.5 years thing. And you're not seeing that kind of disunity which we are seeing in Rajasthan. So I can't think, खड़के बन जाएंगे?
फिर प्रेसिडेंट कौन बनेगा? उसके लिए एक और इलेक्शन कराना पड़ेगा कांग्रेस को.
No, the second candidate becomes Shashi Tharoor.
The conundrum continues for the Congress party. We'll have to wait and watch which way they go and what kind of pressure both camps would want to really apply. But my colleagues from on ground are joining us live. Harish and Ritu are with us. And Harish, I'd like to go to you first. Where are you currently at and what's the mood like there?
Wait, I'm live. 1 second, I'll call you back. 1 second. Poonam, in fact, we are outside DK Shivkumar's residence here, and you can see a lot of people who've gathered here, many of them chanting, Ab ki baar DK Sarkar. You've already seen a lot of people gathering here, that momentum now being built for their respective leaders on whether they can take a shot at the Chief Minister's seat next. In fact, we have Nalpad also here with us. Nalpad, how's it looking for you?
We are very, very happy. The people of Karnataka have given a clear mandate that the Congress party is the party that they want. And it was clear from the start that we wanted this, and they wanted to remove the 40% Sarkar, and the people of Karnataka have given a clear mandate.
But in Bangalore, doesn't look like much has changed, whether it's for the Congress or the BJP.
No, we have got a few pluses in Bangalore also. So overall in the state, we have come to already 125, 130 mark. I think by the end of it, we will already touch 140. So it's looking very, very good.
Also, the other aspect that we are looking is now the clamour is for who will be the next Chief Minister. We are hearing the Sidhu camp, Siddaramaiah camp batting for him. Many saying ab ki baar DK Sarkar. Would you think that would be the next challenge for the Congress?
It is not going to be a challenge. Whatever the High Command and the MLAs decide will happen. Congress party is a united front and we are going to have a...
Who are you backing?
We are backing Congress party.
Okay.
I'm happy that I had the opportunity to work as the Youth Congress President under Mr. DK Shivkumar, and we have formed a government. So all our hard work has come.
The other argument is that Congress has made significant gains in Old Mysuru region. So many saying that should be recognized. Perhaps that's because the Vocaligas have backed the party.
Yes.
Mr. Shivkumar is from the community.
See, even when the party was in deep trouble is when DK Shivkumar came as a president. And he's worked really hard to bring Congress to this effort. At the same time, Siddaramaiah ji's also contribution is equally important. So both the leaders together is what is Congress party.
But how would you accommodate aspirations of both these leaders?
That is the High Command's decision. The High Command will do. As far as my job was to make sure that we win seats, and we have won seats.
Okay, congratulations, Nalpad. There you go. The Youth Congress president here saying that the High Command shouldn't have a problem deciding who the next Chief Minister will be, but that won't be an easy task. We've already seen both these camps now putting in their arguments on why they should be the next Chief Minister, and it's not just two of them. You have a host of senior leaders who've won, and all of them perhaps deep down believe they also deserve to be on the Chief Minister's seat.
Well, Harish, I'll just request you to stay on with us. Once again, a good afternoon to all our viewers who continue to tune in to us on all our digital platforms, whether on YouTube or on Facebook. We continue to get you the clear picture that has now emerged as far as Karnataka is concerned. It's a clear mandate for the Congress party. What are the challenges for the BJP going forward? What really has changed for the Congress to get the kind of numbers that they've got? Our colleagues and senior editor Aman Sharma and Pallavi Ghosh, they also continue to be with us since morning. I'll just come to Pallavi and Aman in just a bit, but our colleagues on the ground, Harish